I wanted to share um, a program that's been really helping a lot of coaches, and it's focusing on, for obvious reasons, the ability for the coach to be as impactful as possible with their clients. And the reason I find this so valuable is because to me, in my coaching practice, it's been the one point of leverage that has made the biggest difference to my ongoing thriving practice. The better I've been at coaching and having life changing impact with my clients, the more referrals I get, the easier my work seems to be. I'm far more invigorated. And of course, clients are spreading the good news around. And it's just a far more, I think, valuable place and the cornerstone to having a thriving practice. And for the last few years, I've been helping people specifically with this one area. And one client that we co-created it with for the first time, the 3 month program I'm going to talk about in a moment, they called it the Coaching Impact Bootcamp. And bootcamp might think like, well, crikey, that feels like very arduous. It's hard, and well, no, the results are the equivalent of a bootcamp. So I'll explain how it works. Over 12 weeks, what you and I would do together, if this is the program for you, that we'd review two or three of your coaching recordings with real clients every 2 weeks. And also every 2 weeks, you and I would meet and we would talk about what you actually saw when you listened back and when I listened back to you in those recordings, how impactful you were, how well you were listening, what you saw really mattered most to your client, and how well you were able to create the space and point to the place where life-changing insights and realizations come from. So that's how it works in a nutshell. So over 12 weeks, every 2 weeks you send in recordings, two or three, and then you listen and I listen separately, and then we come back together and we review them. And over that 6 times that we will meet of those 12 weeks, what happens is that you'll then implement your learnings and your own insights, and then we build upon them each time. That after 3 months, the idea is, and the proof of the pudding is that with other people who have done this with me, that this absolutely works, that has a massive step change in their ability to impact their clients' lives. And it changes from them being helpful to be transformative, from, I guess, being useful to life changing. And as opposed to information based, it's insight and realization driven. And what I do with everybody is help them get to see that for themselves, each coach to actually go into more of that and get into the heart of what really makes impact and realizations that are life changing happen within your clients in real time. And the reason I feel so confident and comfortable in saying this is because, as I mentioned, the proof of the pudding's in the eating, and I'm going to share a couple of examples now of what people who have been working with me have been saying. So um, this is one that I received just last week, in fact, and this is from a mentee, and they said, Wynn's feedback on my coaching through his supervision was invaluable. I had no idea what I was missing and what the impact was available. He has a keen, single minded focus on the one thing that will really help the person, the client, the most, and a dogged determination to understand them enough to point them right to it. He showed me by example what it means to get out of the way and let wisdom lead. His feedback never came with judgment. Well noticed, job done, he would say. Sure enough, a swift change would happen on its own within the next few conversations with my real clients. The growth in the way I'm showing up cleaner and clearer as a coach has been astounding. The journey with Win has been simple, spacious, and life changing for me and the people I work with. And the other one I wanted to share is this is from permission from um, a coach who's been doing one of these 12-week programs with me and halfway through it right now. And what they had a message from one of their clients, and the client they've been working with since August, so it's coming up to 6 months now, and they'd been working with them for 5 months, but had been kind of like, as the coach said to me, we've kind of been bumbling along, helpful, but I don't know if it's been life changing yet. And then in our second session, or after the second session between me and the coach, of what I think is up for grabs for their clients in the way of working that this coach could improve and really step change their impact. This client wrote back early in the new year saying this: I cannot thank you enough. Something happened in me on our last session. I went into the Christmas break with family with so much optimism and openness. I wasn't afraid of seeing everyone I used to not want to spend time with. And I had an amazing time. My kids, my in laws, my cousins. I felt connected to my in laws instead of resenting them. I had so much fun with my kids. I wasn't treading on eggshells, nor was anyone else. The atmosphere was so good. I couldn't really believe it. You were right. I could be present. I didn't have to think about everything I thought about. I'm going to say that again. I didn't have to think about everything I thought about, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone again, and that'll be sooner than next Christmas. My kids hug me longer now. Why, my wife asked me what changed. I said I did. Just reading the back kind of tugs at my heartstrings just to know the change that can happen that is beyond, because this person hired the coach in a business context, but it wasn't just about the business context. It wasn't just them connecting and becoming a more impactful leader or a better leader and giving feedback more and delegating better and everything, that they noticed that everything in their relationships were the same way as at work. Um, and of course, that's going to have an impact on the work life as well as everything in the personal life of that client. And I'm very moved to know that the leverage that this can have is so strong. So here's the invitation. The invitation, if this sounds interesting to you, drop me a message and you know how to get in touch with me. And we'll see and we'll talk and see if there's a right fit for you. So the invitation, we've called it the Coaching Impact Bootcamp, which is one of my clients, as I said, that named it that. And I've not thought of a better way yet of describing it. And over 12 weeks, um, then we can absolutely drastically step change your impact with your clients. I've got Probably I'm able to take on three right now during this month of January because it's quite a lot of my time, but I do have capacity this month. And while I'm traveling in and out of, well, a couple of plane rides and also trains in and out of London, that gives me plenty of opportunity to listen to a lot of calls during the coming weeks and the first quarter of this year, 2025. So if there's something that you would like to, that this has piqued your interest, then do get in touch and we can have a chat and see if this is a good decision for you. And I'd be delighted to hear from you. Take care.